Alright, certification evaluation, time limitation, certification evaluations. Engineer certification reference guide for the Railroad Administration, 5 August 2000. Certification evaluation, time limitation, certification evaluation. This section of the reference guide covers the time limitation period making determination, certification evaluation, prior safety conduct. Hearing and visual acuity, written knowledge exam, perfect performance, skill test, completion, required training. Certification and quality evaluation, prior safety standard for the operating rules, alcohol, drug rules, compliance, motor vehicle, operator vision testing, hearing testing, written knowledge exam, performance skills, completion, required training program, whether or not previously certified, determinations required, prerequisite of certification. Without getting into detail at this point, we looked at the types of evaluation of the railroad must make of the prior certification revocation. Recertification of the local and engineer. Each railroad priorly initially certification recertifying any person as an engineer for any class of service except the student engineer. See page 75. In accordance with the FRA approved the program determining the writing of an individual meet the eligible requirements of 1. Prior safety conduct and evaluation operating rules and compliance of 241, 17 with the alcohol, drug offense with the motor vehicle driving record 241, 15, and 4 substance abuse disorder of the alcohol drug rule compliance 241, 19 vision hearing acuity standards 241, 21 necessary knowledge is determined by successfully passing a written test of the 241, 25 necessarily applied knowledge operating performance skills as demonstrated with successful completing operational performance test 241, 27, and 5 completion required training, whereas the person has not previously had been certified 241, 23, 241, 203. Time limitation certifications is not more than 3 years, that must rely on another railroad certification not more than 36 months old, but must not be furnished more than 366 days before the date of the railroad decision. For eligibility data, visual hearing, acuity data, knowledge exam, performance skill testing. Time limitation for making a determination. No railroad shall certify a person qualified local engineer for an interval of no more than 36 months. The railroad shall rely on certification issued by another railroad that is more than 36 months old, except for the time limitation consumption for the next page. Railroad shall not recertify a person qualified local engineering in case of the training or engine service if the railroad is making the following determination: the information being relied was furnished more than 366 days before the date of the railroad certification decision. Eligibility with the eligibility data, visual hearing acuity to the medical examination, demonstrating knowledge examination, and or demonstration performance and performance skill testing 242.17. Time limitation 366 days does not apply if the railroad relying on certification determinations by another railroad, other countries, or joint operation territory. These time limitations do not apply for the railroad making a certification decision according with the 241 to 217 C2 for the reliance of the determination made by another railroad. See pages 115, 116, 242, 27 the reliance of qualification requirements of the other countries. See page 114, 242, 29 reliance of the requirements of joint operation territory. See pages 119 to 121, 241, 217 prior safety conduct. Procedure for determining eligibility based on prior safety conduct. Each railroad prior to initial certification, recertification, any person for the engineering class of the shall determine the person needs for the eligible requirements 241.15 involved with the prior conduct as a motor vehicle operator 241.17 involved with the prior conduct as a railroad worker 241.19 events involving substance abuse disorder, alcohol, drug, and rules and compliance 242.05. Prior safety conduct. Evaluate prior safety conduct as a railroad employee operator of the motor vehicle. Data of the railroad records, former railroad records, motor vehicle driving records. Persons ineligible for certification if they have a diverse record. General criteria for the eligibility based on prior safety conduct. Part 2 for 109. Each railroad program must include the criteria procedures for evaluating employees' prior safety conduct. A railroad shall evaluate prior safety conduct for any of the person considering qualification local of the engineer of the program to require a person ineligible if the person has a diverse record of the prior safety conduct provided in the 241.15 motor vehicle record, 241.17 operating rule compliance, or 241.19 alcohol drug compliance. This program shall require evaluation of the data reflect with the prior safety conduct with a railroad employee with a person prior to such conduct operating motor vehicle provided that there is relevant prior conduct information should be evaluated shall include relevant data furnished with evaluating railroad's own records of the person previously employed with the first railroad, and the relevant data furnished with the other railroad formerly employing the person, relevant data furnished with the government agency with the pertinent motor vehicle driving records 241.09, 241.15, 241.17, 241.19. Prior safety conduct, former railroad. Alright, within 1 year of the recertification, person shall request the former railroad provide copy of service records in writing, providing a necessary consistent record. Individual duty of the furnished day of the prior safety conduct is employed with a different railroad, except for the initial certification 24201BH or I of the person covered in 24109H, never been a railroad employee or motor vehicle operator. Each person seeking certification under 240 shall, within 366 days, proceed with the date of the railroad decision with certification recertification, request in writing. The chief operating officer for the other appropriate person with a former employee of the railroad provided a copy of the railroad available information concerning his or her service record of the railroad, considering such verification and recertification, taking additional actions, including providing any necessary consistent with the state and federal law to make information concerning his or service record available to the railroad. 24113 AAR's petition for the reconsideration. The Association of American Railroads petition the FRA to absolve railroad responsibility of sending an employee with the information to another railroad. The FRA denied the petition, stating the FRA wants true information provided with the truth. If truth is complete defense in the defamation actions. The AR position the FRA to absolve the railroad responsibility of sending employee information if not be revealed to the responsibility of resulting in libelous material supplied to another railroad. FRA to deny the petition reconsideration, stating the FRA wants true information provided with the truth is complete defense and defamation actions. Prior safety conduct review and comment. Prior to the railroad making eligibility decision, employee must have the opportunity to review the comment in writing or any of the record of the railroad believed on the record containing the insufficient rendering person ineligible for certification. General criteria for eligibility based on prior safety conduct. Railroad program shall provide with the candidate with a certification, recertification, reasonable opportunity with a review of the comment with a writing any record which contains information concerning the person's prior safety conduct, including information pertaining with the determination required with under 24119. Railroad believe the record shall contain information that could be sufficient to render the person's ineligible certification under 24109. Operating comment shall be afforded with the person prior to the railroad rendering its ability to decision make with the information responsible comment furnished with the shall be pertain and railroad in accordance with the 24215 program shall include a method of the person involved with the railroad, he or she have never been a railroad employer obtaining the license to drive the motor vehicle. Nothing in the 24109 shall be constructed over the duty requirement that the person have with a prior railroad employment experience or obtain a motor vehicle's driver's license in order to become a certified locomotive engineer. Nothing in 24109, 111, or 113 shall be construed with a permanent person with the subject of the 240 entering in an agreement to resolve the railroad obtaining information needed to comply with the 24109 in a different manner than prescribed in 241, 411, and 113, 24109 F through I. Prior safety conduct operating rules of compliance certification may be revoked even if the following person fails to comply with certified engineer designated locomotive engineer except for the during efficiency test, certified locomotive engineering pilot, instructor, engineer. Criteria for the consideration operating rules compliance data for the person who demonstrated the failure to comply with the described in 241.17e with the revocation tab page 6 for the railroad rule of practice for the chief of the operation training shall not be currently certified as locomotive engineer. Certified locomotive engineer fairly complete with the comply described in 241.17e with the revocation tab page 6 with the railroad rule in practice for the chief of the operation training shall have his or her certification revoked. This is locomotive engineer, certified locomotive engineer, pilot, or instructor engineer monitoring and piloting and instructing locomotive engineer fails to appropriate action to prevent violation of 241.17e as described in revocation tab page 6 shall have his certification revoked. Appropriate action does not mean with a supervisor, pilot, or instructor must prevent the violation from occurring at all costs. Duty may be met or warning an engineer potentially with a foreseeable violation as a supervisor locomotive will not be culpable under 241.17 when monitoring event is conducted as part of the railroad operational compliance test is defined in 217.9 and 240.303. You'll see page 29, application tab 240.117a, b, and c. Prior safety conduct operating rules of compliance. The conductor who is also certified as an engineer may not have his engineer's certificate revoked for actions of the engineer except for the AD offenses. A person who is certified with the locomotive engineer that is called by the railroad to perform duty with a trained crew member other than that of the locomotive engineer performing such a duty shall not have his certification revoked based on the action not taken by performing the duty. Per the Amble of 1999 final rule, the exemption only applied with a person performing non-locomotive engineering duty. Thus, exemption will not apply if such person, the conductor, is performing duties with the locomotive engineer caused the violation to occur. Preamble further state the exemption does not apply with the violation 241.17(e)(6) of the alcohol and drug. The engineer working with the other capabilities violate with the certain alcohol drug rules will have certification revoked for an appropriate period pursuant to the 241.17 and 241.19, 241.17c. Prior safety conduct, operating rules and compliance. So the railroad shall concern an appropriate rule compliance data only conducted and inscribed in 214.117(e)(1 through E5 that they occurred within the period of 3 years prior to the determination. Limitation consideration prior operation non-compliance data, except for provided in 241.17(I) with validity with the railroad decision prior to the May 10th, 1993 revision. See the revocation tab, page 24, in determining whether the person may be remain certified locomotive engineer. Railroad shall concern an operating rule compliance data that only can describe in the 241.17(E)(1 through E5 that occurred for the period of 36 months prior to the determination. Reviewing existing certification shall be initiated promptly on the occurrence documentation any of the conduct described in 241.17. Note, see the revocation tab, page 6 of the violation operating rules. Practice with the concern with the prior operating rule compliance data. In order to make determination involving prior conduct as a railroad worker or railroad shall have the only filed documents to provide with the determination of 241.17, 241.17, 242.05b. Prior safety conduct and alcohol drug compliance. Railroad shall concern any violation 219.101 or 219.102 that include refusal that occurred within the period of 5 years. Prior alcohol and drug conduct, the federal rule compliance, and determining whether the person may remain certified locomotive of the railroad shall conduct what is described in 240.119C that occurred within a period of 60 consecutive months with the prior to review. 240.119C with the state of the railroad shall consider the violation of the 219.102 with the 219.1 or 219.102 for any refusal failure to provide a breath or blood body fluid sample of testing under requirements part 219.1 instructed to do so by the railroad representative. Note, page 17, revocation habit. In order to make the determination prior to the conduct with the railroad shall have the documentation presented with the determination involved with the substance abuse, the disorder, with the alcohol drug rule compliance per 241.19, including a written documentation with the EPA counselor with the documentation that reflects any professional opinion of the person as if the evaluated not currently affected with a substance abuse disorder, or the person has been evaluated and affected by an active substance abuse disorder ineligible for certification. 241.19C2 with the 242.05b. Prior safety and conduct of the alcohol drug compliance review certification should be initiated promptly upon the occurrence of the documentation any violation 219.102 or 101. Review certification with a review certification should be initiated promptly on the occurrence of the documentation for the incident with the conduct described in 241.19C2 with a violation 219.101 or 219.102, 219.102 with a prohibition drug on and off duty except for the approved with the medical use of the marginally less sincere within 219.101 because of the most case of the on-job possession impairment is not established random urinalysis drug test. A refusal to take the FRA post-accident with a breath test would be scored with as if the 219.101 violation because of the variance of the worst case could establish the violation of a 0.04% alcohol prohibition, otherwise evidence impairment. Refusal of the drug in the urine analysis most cases could be used if it established 219.102 with a violation which be treated as if the violation 219.102. No, see the periods and eligibility alcohol drug violation of the page 26 violation revocation tab 240.119C. Prior safety conduct, alcohol drug compliance, a person with the active substance abuse disorder shall not be currently certified, shall be suspended with certification from certification. Except for the voluntary referral policy may be reinstated, may voluntarily self-refer. Consider the data substance abuse disorder, alcohol with the drug rule compliance. Each railroad program should conclude with the criteria and procedure for the implementing of the selection fitness requirements of the person who has the active substance abuse disorder shall not be with the currently certified locomotive engineer defined on the next page. As provided with the 241.19E with the voluntary referral, certified with the engineer determined with the active substance abuse disorder shall be suspended with certification consistent with the provision part 240 certification may be reinstated provided 241.19D. In this case, if the current employee with the railroad evaluated has had the active substance abuse use disorder included person identified under procedure for the 24115 where the employee may, if otherwise eligible, to voluntarily self-refer to substance abuse counseling or treatment under the policy required in the 219-403. Railroad shall then be treated the substance abuse evaluation as confidential, exempt with respect with the current ineligibility certification definition. Current employee is an employee with at least 1 year experience with the transportation service on the railroad. 24119A, B, and 240C. 7. Alcohol, drug compliance, substance abuse disorder, psychological, physical dependence for the age with another identifiable treatment, mental, physical disorder involved with abuse of the AD and primary manifestation. Active is active if the person currently using AD except for the 219-103 and has failed to successfully completed primary treatment with the after care of the director by the EPA counselor. Definition of substance abuse disorder referred to as the psychological physical dependence for the alcohol or drug and another identifiable treatable mental physical disorder involved with the abuse of the alcohol, drug, and the primary manifestation. Substance abuse disorder is active meaning over the part and person of the current alcohol and other drugs under the medical supervision consistent with the restrictions described in 219-103 of this chapter, has failed to successfully complete primary treatment with successful participate in the aftercare of the described by the EPA counselor. Note, if the engineer takes a physical examination that provides a basic thing here has an active substance abuse disorder, the railroad shall respond accordingly to the company policy. Prior safety conduct, alcohol, drug compliance, voluntary referral, certification status shall not be adversely affected, must be treated as confidential, except if the person refers to cooperate in recommended course of the counseling and treatment. Voluntary referral. Nothing in Part 240 shall affect the responsible of the railroad under 219-403 with voluntary referral policy with the treatment, voluntary referral with the substance abuse, with the counseling, with the training, with the confidentiality, with the certification status for the engineer who successfully assisted under the procedure of this section, but it should not be adversely affected. However, the railroad shall include with the voluntary referral policy required with the issue by the 219-403 with a provision that at least with the required with the certified local engineer candidate with the certification policy confidential is waived with the extent of the railroad shall receive the EPA counselor with the office of the notice of the substance abuse disorder shall suspend the revocation certification as appropriate to the person any time refused to cooperate with the recommended course for the counseling and the treatment. Note 240 Part 240 recognizes voluntary referral of the co-worker report policy 24119, but not so-called bypass program that several railroads have. The bypass program kicks in after the individual is accused by a railroad officer. 24119E. Per safety conduct, alcohol, drug compliance. If an engineer had a 219-101 violation within 5 years time frame performing duties for the train as a trainman, shall the railroad consider the violation determined certification question. If an engineer had a 219-101 violation within 5 years of the time frame performing duties for the trainman, shall have the railroad consider the violation determined certification. Answer is preamble the final rule, page 28-24-5. State with a note the conduct of the violation of the FRA prescription or logins for the alcohol and the drug that needs to be occurred while the person's within the capacity of the locomotive engineer, ordered to be considered for the reins of the employees violated 219-101, working with the conductor, then solved with the engineer. Certification 6 months later, but they would not currently eligible for certification. Preamble the interim final rule, page 1899. 7. Further, if the certified engineer is found to be in with the non-compliance of Part 219-101 while performing any services, the person renders himself with an ineligible mandatory 9-month interval provided in 24119.9. Question: did the FRA intend to remove the EPA counselor discretion with the setting of the 9-month certificate revocation requirement for the violation 219-101? Yes, the FRA did not intend. Preamble with the interim final rule, page 1899, 7, 240-119. Alright, alcohol, drug compliance certificate reinstatement. The denied, suspended, revoked, or become the AD violation. Alcohol, drug violation prior to the reinstatement. The certificate be evaluated by the EPA. Sponsor successfully completed any of the program. Presented both the negative urine sample of the drug and breath test for the alcohol. Further eligibility for the whole certificate following the alcohol, drug violation. Following the requirements applied with the person and evidence divided certification, suspended, revoked with the result of the conduct described in the 240-119, see with the 219-101 or 219-102 violation. Person is not eligible to grant the reinstatement of the certificate unless until the person has been one being evaluated with the EAP counselor with a determined the person currently has been active with substance abuse disorder. 2. Successfully completed any program counseling or the training to determine with the necessary EAP counselor prior to returning service. And 3. Presented a urine sample to test on Part 219 subpart H if the test is negative with controlled substance is said to the has been tested negative to alcohol. 24119D4, 24119D, 219-104, alcohol drug compliance and return to service. service. Engineer returned to service shall continue with any of the program counseling with the training required with the EPA. With the engineer shall be the subject of the program followed with the alcohol drug testing without prior notice for no more than 5 years, but during the first year, at least 6 years after. At least 6 alcohol and 6 drug tests. Further eligibility with a whole certificate following alcohol drug violation 219-101 to 102. Engineer placed in service return with the service under the condition to continue with any of the program counseling treatment with the deemed necessary for the EAP counseling with the shall be subject to the reasonable process program follow up with alcohol drug testing without prior notice of the period not more than 60 months following the return of service. Follow the test shall include no fewer than 6 alcohol tests, 6 drug tests during the first 12 months for the returning service. Return to service. The follow-up of the drug test shall be performed consistent with the requirements of Subpart H of Part 219, 240, 119, D2, 3, 219, 104. Alcohol drug compliance, no entitlement for the EAP counselor. Serve the leave for counseling or treatment employment as an engineer railroad may take any disciplinary action. Future eligibility to hold certificate following alcohol drug violation 219-101 or 90-102. These does not create the entitlement to utilize service of the railroad EAP counselor to afford leave the employment, counseling with the treatment and employment as a locomotive engineer, nor does it restrict the discretion available for the railroad to take with a disciplinary action based on the conduct described herein. The definition EAP counselor means a person qualified by the experience, education, training with the counsel, peaceful, affected by substance abuse, will evaluate the progress and with the recovering and with the control of such problems. The EAP counselor can be a qualified full-time salaried employee with the railroad, qualified practitioner contract with the railroad, fee for service with the other base of the qualified physician designated by the railroad, form function with a connection with the alcohol substance-based evaluation or counseling, and as used for the EAP counselor over the duty to the railroad to make an honest, fully informed evaluation of the condition and the progress of the employee. 247 and 241-19 D4. Position reconsideration, decrease in stringency with the return to service testing, BLE. Duty to perform nature of the EAP evaluation, BLE, and American Brotherhood of Locomotive Engineer, American Short Line Railroad Association objection to the use of the phrase active subabuse or disorder broke Brotherhood of Locomotive Engineering. The Brotherhood of Locomotive Engineering petition the FRA to decree for the stringency with a return date with a service for those who for the active substance abuse. So sort of the FRA to definition petition reconsideration stating the provision of the rule effective when the FRA maturing views about with the appropriate criteria for the return to service testing with the FRA had proposed with the provision analogous criteria with the Part 219 to bring the rule into conformity for the approach for the taken in this rule. They have broke out of the road, locomotive, and a short line petition with the clarification railroad to have the EPA counselor's evaluation to maintain with the concern that he is that was perceived by the FRA with requiring performance of the EPA evaluation each time the engineer certified with the recertified. The FRA responds by saying FRA is not requiring an EAP evaluation each time unless the reason to think one is needed. Brotherhood Locomotive Engineer petition objective of the use of the phrase active substance abuse disorder. Brotherhood Locomotive Engineer objective of the grounds of the phrases was not in proposed rule. So with this interpretation, the FRA responded, but the FRA will continue the use of the phrase to the state, but the use of the descriptor reflects the FRA with the differentiate between which whether a disease such as alcoholism is currently having an adverse effect for the dormant or is under control. Alright, prior safety conduct motor vehicle operator may only consider the violation completely stated action, cancel, revoke, suspend, deny driver license or operating motor vehicle while under the influence or impaired with the alcohol with a controlled substance, refusing to undergo such alcohol drug testing as required by state law. No, consider records within 3 years. Criteria with considering prior safety conduct with a motor vehicle operator. Each of the railroad program must conclude with the criteria procedure with the considering with the motor vehicle data with the evaluating person in the motor vehicle with the driving the record. Railroad shall not consider the information concerning motor vehicle driving incidents occurred more than 36 months before the month in which the railroad is making the certification decision. Shall only consider the information concerning the following types of motor vehicle incidents. Conviction, completed state action with a cancel, revocation, suspended with a denied motor vehicle license for the operating motor vehicle while under the influence or impaired by alcoholic controlled substance. 3. Refusing to undergo alcohol with the drug testing required with the treatment level with the law enforcement officials. See with it determining whether this person is operating a vehicle while under the influence of alcohol with a controlled substance. With note, the FRA does not prohibit the railroads from taking any disciplinary action during period while awaiting state action. See 241 F. 245D 24115. Prior safety conduct motor vehicle operator in such incidents with the EBAP Council determined has substance abuse disorder, must cooperate with the provide record of the prior with the counseling treatment, and if not act for the condition with certification problem of the aftercare and follow up of the testing may not certified if it has active substance abuse disorder. If such a person incident is identified, but the railroad shall provide with the data with the railroad EPA counselor together with the information concerned with the person railroad service. Record shall refer to the person's evaluation to determine if the person has active substance abuse disorder. The person will operate in evaluation providing the requested records prior to counseling, the treatment, and the review of the exclusive of the EAP counselor for the contact with such evaluation, and if the person evaluated not currently affected with the activated with the substance abuse or subject to that shall be not considered with the further respect of the certification. However, the railroad shall, on recommendation, EAP counselor condition certification upon participation need of the aftercare following testing alcohol of the drugs deemed necessary for the EAP considers also consistent with the technical standards specified in 240-119D3, see page 19. If the person evaluated with the currently affected with the active substance abuse disorder, person shall not currently be certified with the provision 240-119B will apply, see page 15, 240-115. Alright, prior safety conduct motor vehicle operator employee must request a written driving record of the last driver license agency with the other safe within the last 5 years. A national driver registry check for the individual duties of the furnished data with the prior to safety conduct of the motor vehicle. Each person who asks for the certification recertification shall have within 366 days proceed with the date of the railroad's decision, certification, recertification, quit the following and make information concerning his or her record, driver's record available to the railroad concerning considering such recertification. Requesting a rating of chief of each of the driver license agency, the last issue for the person, driver license, chief of the driver license agent, any other shape of the issue for the reissue of the driver license preceding 5 years. Request to check with the National Driver's Registry, but he performed identified with additional information concerning his or her record, driving the record result of the information provided by the railroad chief of the National Driver Registry and the National Highway Traffic Safety Administration, 400 7th Street, South Washington, D.C. 20590, in accordance with the procedure, according to the appendix C, and the list of the person motor vehicle driver license was issued by one driver listing licensee identified in appendix C, and continue 24111. Prior safety conduct with a motor vehicle operated with the National Driver Registry with the National Highway Transportation Safety Administration by the railroad. Additional, and it may exist in another state. Employees shall request from the writing of the agency provide a copy of the record, railroad, and take an action required by the law to obtain additional info and note with the prior 3 years record only. If the person motor vehicle with a driver's license was issued one over the driver's license agency with a licensing agency identified in appendix D, but the person shall request the chief of the driver's licensing agency to perform a check with the National Driver's Registry with the possible existence of additional information concerning his or her driver's record provided the resulting information with the railroad. No, all state with not part of the National Driver's Registry with the vibe of the railroad, the driver license agency with the National Highway Traffic Safety Administration form with the railroad with additional information concerning with the person driving history of the exit within the file of the state agencies not previously contacted in accordance with the 240-115, and such a person shall require on the writing of the chief state of the agency comply with the information provided with a copy available of the information if the prospective certifying railroad and taking additional action, including providing any necessary consistent required state federal law with the making information concerning his or her driving the record available to the railroad. No, see page 19 with additional information. No, only the records in prior 3 years may be used within the recertification division. 24111. Prior safety conduct motor vehicle operator. If the employee never had a driver's license, they only have to notify the railroad of that fact. Any person who has never obtained a motor vehicle driver's license is not required to comply with the provision 24111 to be, which shall notify the railroad. In fact, in accordance procedure with the railroad that comply with 24109D. In order to make the determination prior safety conduct, the railroad shall have the final documents pertaining to the determination involved with the prior conduct of the motor vehicle operator. Alright, prior safety conduct motor vehicle operator injury. If the person seeking with the recertification must report with the railroad 48 hours before of being convicted of completed state action, cancel, revoke, suspend with a denied driver's license, operating under the influence of an impaired alcohol controlled substance. He certified welcome to the named person seeking initial certification shall report motor vehicle incidents described in 240-115B1 and 2 with the conviction of the completed state action with a cancel, revoke, and suspend with a denial of the motor vehicle driver license for the operating motor vehicle while under the influence impaired by the alcohol controlled substance, refusal to undergo such testing required by the state law with the law enforcement official seek to determine whether the person operating a vehicle while under the influence of alcohol with the controlled substance due to the point with the railroad within 48 hours of the conviction of the completed state with the action, cancel, revoke, suspend with a denial of the motor vehicle driver license such violation For purpose of the engineer certification, the railroad shall require the reporting earlier than 48 hours of the conviction, completed state with the action, cancel, revoke, denied a motor vehicle for the driver's license per ample to the 1999 final rule. This will create obligation for the certifying engineers report with employing the railroad any type of a temporary, permanent denial of the whole motor vehicle driver's license found with have either refused alcohol or drug test or to be under the influence prepared with the operating motor vehicle 24115H. Alright. Prior safety conduct motor vehicle operative. The 48 hours reporting does not prevent a person from choosing to enter voluntary referral program. The preamble of 1998 with a proposed rule statement by not requiring reporting in 48 hours after the completed state action, the rule have the practical effect of ensuring the required referral to the EAP Council on the 24115C, but it does not occur prematurely. However, it does not prevent an eligible person from choosing voluntary self-referral. The persistent 240-119B3 of the voluntary self-referral program, nor does it have the railroad referring person with the EAP Council pursuing the 24119. If there exists other information with identified with the person possible having a substance abuse disorder, further restriction and lies only with the action taken in against the person's certificate has not affected the person's ability to employ by that railroad. Motor safety conduct, motor vehicle data, appendix C, procedure for obtaining the state with the national driver, the registry with the national driver, the registry with the national repository info, and the problem driver to maintain with the National Highway Transportation Safety Administration, appendix D, state agency performing the national driver registry checks. In addition to the state driver license, the individual must request the truth and the retrieval of the performance of relevant information concerning with the driver, the record retained with the national driver, the registry with the appendix C with the part 240 explain with the procedure with the obtained with the evaluation motor vehicle, the driver, the record with the national driver, the registry system information created with the Congress in 1960 with the essence of the National Motor Repository Information Problem, the driver, the national data, driver, the registry with the currently name of the National Highway Traffic Safety Administration under the provision of the National Driver, the Registry Act. Only state individuals can obtain with the act of the national driver, the registry with the FRA required with the individual with the request for the national driver, the registry, and the directly form of the National Highway Transportation Safety Administration level. The individual has a license issued by that state and is participating under the National Driver, the Registry Act of 1982, Appendix C. Prior to safety conduct motor vehicle data, all safety participate with the non-driver, the registry with the problem driver, the pointer system. Yes, even in Texas, Montana, and North Carolina, participating safety directly with the national driver, the registry with the data on the behalf of the individual, the safety agents currently affected with the active of the national driver's registry with the data identified in Appendix D. Since the state with the provide with a higher quality info with the FRA required with the individual make use of the method of the preference for the directly with the National Highway Transportation Safety Administration. There is no charge for the national driver, the registry check, but there may be costs associated with having them requested notarized. Although Appendix D is only for state with the North Dakota, Ohio, Virgin, Washington. To date, all states participate in the national driver, the registry problem driver pointer system based upon the personal name, issuing state with the date of birth, sex, height, weight, color, revised driver license number, response that provided indicating no potential record matching when the notification of the potential record match was made. Appendix C. Prior safety conduct motor vehicle data. If the second state agency failed to refuse to supply with the record, railroad may act with the pending of the certification without the data. However, the national driver, the registry response is required, but the railroad may not act without national data registry with the data without response from a first issuing state. If the potential match of the other than the issuing state with is necessary for the contact with the other state licensing agency of the team of the relevant record, the FRA policy in place for the responsible of the railroad to notify the individual contact with the state with the relevant information. Small things may be required. Person may furnish with the written evidence that he consents to the release of the data to the railroad. If the second state agency fails to refuse the supply of the record, the railroad may act on the pending certification without the data. The national data registry with the respond with the information from the first state. However, the required with the railroad may not act on these responses. Farmers of the railroad shall verify with the records pertaining to the individual physical description, photograph, the handwriting comparisons prior to the evaluation. Record of the railroad must give the individual opportunity to review the record and respond in writing. Prior to the conduct petition with reconsideration, the Association of American Railroads wanted time limited to see whether the individual required to request the motor vehicle but to ensure the timeliness of the FRA at a time with the Brotherhood local engineer wanted relief of the responsibility of the state motor vehicle agency for not responding with the FRA to deny. The Association of American Railroads petition with the FRA to settle the constraint with an individual requesting motor vehicle with the other railroad data to ensure the timeliness of the railroad was concerned with the may have of the make of the decision without data, with the have of the way of the delivery, have the chart over the other elements becoming untimely, the FRA to deny the AR petition. Brotherhood locomotive in position, the effort to relieve them or responsibility of the motor vehicle agency does not respond to the effort to deny the Brotherhood locomotive's position. Regulation does not obligate the candidate to examine the data. However, it does not require the candidate to take prudent action in the attempt to retrieve the data. Our vision and hearing acuity. Let's see. Cut the tape.